You. We are back on the Sim Your Life show with Simgirl and Snook. We are here talking about the Sims game, which is a game that you can play on the computer where you simulate a person, basically, and you can control their life. Are you there, Snook?
Yeah.
Hello.
I am. I'm here. I'm listening.
Hey. We are here in the MSP Waves Radio. We have Billy Mays, Saigon, Jesse 2U, Marshall Life, and Globocop is here in the audience. Thank you for tuning into the Sim Your Life show. How is everybody today? I hope everybody is good. I'm still a little nervous. This is my first show I've ever had my whole entire life. I don't think I've ever had to talk this long without saying
I say yeah a lot.
Let me tell you, after the show, we will be having Whip Girl. She'll be on from 6 p.m., 8 p.m. UTC, which is 1 p.m., 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with her hacking mental performance with Whip Girl. And then after that, from 3 to 5,
Hey, Whip Girl.
the Scaredy Cat Guide will be on with the Music and Money Show with Scaredy Cat Guide. And if you would like your own show, you can let the folks, especially Globocop, know at MSP Waves Radio, and they can set that up for you. Yay, Whip Girl's here. I'm so excited. Thank you for showing up for my very first show. I have no control over anything, but I am here talking to you live on MSP.
I have but do we ever have control?
I don't. I've given up completely. I started this show. I was very intent on making sure that everyone had a outline. I had an outline. I had exactly what I was going to say, and it just didn't work. So at the point today where I'm like, as long as I showed up and I'm sober, we're good. So I was about to start drinking there for a minute when my computer crashed. When you get to your 40s, you just, you can drink at any time of the day. It doesn't have to be 5 o'clock. But I'm not a big drinker. I don't drink a lot. So if I say I'm going to drink, then I'm done. That's so funny. But thank you all for tuning in. We're talking about the Sim game here on the computer. We are talking about it on Steemit mostly. We have both got a blog, me and Schnook. We have a blog that we post our Sims games. We use the Sims for basically everything now. We use it for our, I use it for my profile picture. We use it for our writing, for our free writes. We have the new old Steemian Home, which is a spin-off to the free write, where we just take the people who are free writers and we incorporate them into our stories. We make up all kinds of different mental disorders for them because it's an old Steemian home. So this is Steamers that have been there for many, many years on Steemit and have now pretty much used all their brain power and have little left in the Steam home. And we use them to create stories. I made a play the other day, which was really fun. And then Snook goes on to her Sims game and she creates the characters for our stories. So we tell her, like the one I said that Schnook was going to be playing the piano. So she went and took the Sim in her game and went down to the piano and played the piano and took a screenshot. And then she uploaded the screenshot and then I could use it in my story. So that's what we've been doing lately. Do you have another episode of the old Steemian Home coming up, Schnook? Whip Girl said, screw us over. I'm with you on that one.
They just posted yesterday. I had to, because you can only have 8 Sims in a house. And house to house the new characters, we were overflowing. So I just finished that house up. So that's the last post I had. So actually, if you go there, you can actually see all the have been and you can see the houses that they live in and that type of thing. You can see Simgirl and her glory behind her DJ booth.
Yeah, it was really nice that we have all these different expansions. When you get the Sims game, it comes basically with the basic game. You get some locations that you go to. They give you like a lounge and a restaurant and a gym. They give you a museum, a library. We used to have to go shopping, but now the food just appears whenever you go to eat, so that's nice. We don't have.
Oh, did you have to?
Yeah, we actually had to go and leave our house, go to the store. If you had a kid, you had to get a babysitter, go to the store, pick out exactly what you needed. Like if you needed tomatoes for pasta or whatever, you had to actually go. Yeah, so now whenever you go to feed your sim, you go and say, click on the refrigerator and it'll give you options, and then you'll say make dinner and it'll give you the options for dinner, and then whenever you click on that option, it'll just take the money right out of your wallet, which is the household funds for the house.
Right. Oh, I used the new washer last night.
You did. They got a new laundry edition they just come out with, and Snook got it. I haven't gotten it yet. Do you like it?
I used, yeah, I do. It's actually very cute. The stuff that, the new stuff that came with it is really cool. And it's money that I made from Steemit on there to buy it.
Yay. Isn't that the best part?
Yeah, it was really neat. But you line out, so you can just have a washer and then you can go out and hang it on the clothesline, and it's actually a really cute addition to the game, quite honestly.
Does it take more energy? Like, do you have to stop what you're doing and clean the house and pick up laundry and everything?
I didn't get to that point. Every time you like take a shower or whatever, you'll see the little hamper like fluff up with clothes all the way to the top. I'm not sure because I wanted to use the washer and see how it worked.
Yeah. Well, they used to have a washer and dryer in the game, but they didn't have the actual laundry, like, expansion or game pack.
It gave me a choice of where I wanted to hang or do with the clean, what I wanted to do with the clean laundry. So, and I had a laundry clothesline outside, so I said put it on the clothesline, and I was thinking, well, this is going to take forever, and they don't have it that way. It takes like 2 seconds for them to hang the laundry. Yeah, they walk outside and stand in front, and then it sits there over. Well, I did it at night, and it sat there overnight.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure how they were going to do it because did they add like laundry basket?
Girl, you'd really like it. You would really like the game. You can. I've seen make people in their own image. Like totally in their own image. If you have a day and a half, I guess, to do it, and it has all its own. It has each expansion comes with more clothes, which is why I kept buying expansions and then it adds hair, and you can never have enough hairdos.
And they kind of do it like WoW. I don't know if anybody knows what WoW is, but WoW is World of Warcraft. And we played World of Warcraft before we started. Well, I've been playing Sims the whole time, but before we played Sims together, we were playing World of Warcraft together. And World of Warcraft will have an expansion come out, and then you'll go and you'll do all this work and do all these quests and get all this gear. And then whenever the new expansion comes out, they take it all away from you. Or basically, because they're giving you all new stuff, which means that all the stuff that you worked for is no longer relevant, basically. And they do the same thing in The Sims, because we used to have all these expansions in The Sims 3, and then whenever they started The Sims 4, they kind of like took it all away from us. And now they're starting to give it back to us one by one, every expansion that they keep giving, which is better, than The Sims 3. But
you can still go back and play Sims 3 if you wanted to, right?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I don't think that, if you had it on your computer, that's way, way long time ago. Because this game's been out for almost 3 years now. So, I'm not sure. But you wouldn't want to. You would go back to those graphics and be like, oh my gosh. It's just amazing.
Oh, I would, yeah.
Yeah, the difference in the graphics between The Sims 3 and The Sims 4 is just amazing. And then I upgraded my graphics card, and it even got more amazing. And I was like, whoa. Started taking more pictures and stuff. And we've been using these pictures for almost everything now. So I have like folders of Sims pictures now.
Yeah, I had to actually clean out my computer what was that, Saturday when we were talking? And you're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to get rid of pictures because I had a million of them. And it's really neat. You can take videos. Also, the game, which a lot of games now do that. It'll do in-game videos and it does in-game pictures. And there's a certain way, higher quality picture, which is really nice. Once I found that out, I was really, really happy.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of cheats that it's funny. It's the first game I've ever seen where they actually, like you say, encourage you to use cheats.
They do. They do encourage it. And they have a lot of community on the Sims community site that they allow you, like the laundry one. Of course, it's like 6 months in advance before the game comes out, but you can actually get involved in the creation of the items that come out in the new pack, and they'll give you a voting system where you can vote for new items, and you decide what you're going to buy, which is really cool.
You're one of those? They starved them to death?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. These people, you really get to know people by what they do to their Sims. I'll tell you that. They really do. Oh, Crimson Cloud is here. Hello, Crimson. How are you? Welcome to the Sim Your Life show. Well, the purpose of the Sim Your Life show actually was to give advice on how you can sim your life, which is to play your life like a game. Oh no, she was the
letter from the poor girl.
Yeah. Oh. People are so cruel to these poor little things, and then you makes you wonder, like what is going on at their house,
He could still be trapped in the house. He's dead now.
Because this represents a real life. So, it does kind of make you wonder what these people are thinking at real life, what they're doing at home. Oh,
the first time I heard somebody kill their Sim on purpose, I was like, what? Why would you do that?
Why would you do that? I know, you're so mean. I'm like the perfect angel. My Sims, I feel bad for them if they're not in a good mood, and oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Well, I think you're nicer to yours than I am to mine, but...
Yeah. I've been playing for a long time, so I have a lot of years of feeling bad about, having them go to the bathroom. They didn't get to the bathroom because you're kind of responsible for them, and it's kind of like, well, now this Sim is not happy. What do I have to do to make them happy?
Well, basically you're...
That's fair. Go ahead. He's saying that he might still be trapped in that house.
Yeah. So you make them, and you make them in any kind of image that you want, and there is an insanity. What people do, because it's a so open-ended sandbox game and not really any rules to it, what people will do is post on the forums different challenges that you can do, and one of the ones that I've been reading about is you make basically, and then you stick 9 Sims in there, and how you win the challenge one of whoever. You have to get down to one sim. So basically, all your other sims have to die.
Oh no! That's so mean. Why do people make this?
But you can only control one of the sims. Can't control it all. And it's like you only get 2 bathrooms and you only get like 2 beds, but you have 8 people in the house.
Oh my God.
Don't get sleep. Some don't. Yeah. And I was like, well, this is like, it's like a horror movie. And then people make videos of it and about what happened.
I felt so bad when my sim died.
I was devastated.
I guess I can't really talk because I started the what was the Shadows one, the Dark Shadows challenge, where you make a sim and you turn them into a vampire and then put them in a coffin for 200 years. So I guess I'm not any better. After I was,
you did?
Remember, I was going to do
that's right.
The Dark Shadows challenge because I had
a guy down there.
Yeah, and just put him as a vampire because you can turn the vampires. You can just hibernate them, and they'll go into their coffin and they won't come back out, and they don't die because they're vampires.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess I'm not really any better because I thought of that idea.
Don't die. They just lay there forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because we whenever I did my Sims Legacy Challenge, I had this glitch in my game, which I don't know if it's still a glitch or not, but everybody was immortal, and they wouldn't age. So I had my Legacy Sim, she was supposed to be in her adult age, but she didn't go to the elder age, so I just kept having her have babies, more babies.
Yeah, you were crazy.
Yeah, and then she's got 6 babies, and finally she turns into an elder, and then she's 105. I'm like, whoops.
Because that was one of the times you were like, here's my family, play it. And I had only 3 kids at the time on mine. And then I got this family that was 8. The house was full. It was 8. There was 8 of them. And it's hard to keep track of 8 Sims.
It is.
I'm happy.
Yeah, it's easier for me. I like to do one Sim. And then they don't even date. They don't. And my 4 Sims, because I don't want that responsibility. It's easier to play one Sim and try to get them. The goal of the game is to get to the top of your career track, to have their life goal. They pick aspirations. Well, actually, you pick the aspirations, and then you apply that to a life goal. Like, say, if they're the knowledge one, they might want to become a doctor. So your goal in that game is to make that Sim a doctor. And of course, when they start off, they have no skills. They don't know anybody. They don't have any. They really don't have anything. They're basically.
They don't have anything. No, they have nothing.
Yeah.
Jesse, to you actually could do that in The Sims 4.
Yeah.
Make it look like an eco village. Earthship, they have a spaceship to make a sim that is a genius and for that, and then take that job. Make a sim look like a hobbit.
Yeah.
And the biosphere, it's amazing. I had to watch it. I was very sick, and I ended up watching a lot of YouTube videos on building. And the roofs you can make domed, you can manipulate the roofs to look just like anything.
The building in this game is just really, like she said, you can do it all day long. Just sit there and play and build and save and build, and then you can go back and change everything. So it's not permanent. Like, you could go back into your house and move the roof, or you can change out the windows. At each expansion, they give you new buildings.
Oh yeah, you would still not be in a space
ship
drop.
Yeah.
The backdrop it's always summer there.
Yeah. They did have weather at one point, but I don't think it went over very well. So.
I was reading up on that, and they were saying that it bogged down too many people's computers, so they didn't think it was going to be in Sims 4.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, and what's really hilarious is if you had, I had one of my generations. She built a spaceship, and she aged slower than her husband, and once you get to an elder state, they can actually die from having sex.
Oh, that's right. The rocket ship.
Sorry. Yeah, and
That's
so
you kill your sim.
Yes, you can. You can do it that way. And so then all of a sudden I don't know, I think I had like 4 other little children at the time. And and they snuck off my Sims all by themselves, the 2 of them, went in the spaceship up in there and had woohoo. And I'm thinking, he's going to come back and die.
Because he was too old.
He was like 98 at the time when they did that. But luckily he didn't. And then I made him go to bed.
When they get to the outer stage, you really got to be careful. And by the time that you play them all that time, it takes all that time to get to the end of the game, basically, to get to the end game content where you actually have some skills and you have some money and you can build a rocket ship. So it's kind of...
And it's funny, too, because the clothes, like when mine get to elder, I quickly change their clothes and I put them in like old people tennis shoes and stuff.
Like
because they get cold.
The onesies outfits.
Yeah, because they get really cold.
Yeah. You have to watch when they get older because they'll stress themselves out or do too much cleaning or something.
Yeah, and then they die on you, and it's not fun when they die. I don't.
And actually, for those of you who have never played The Sims before, The Sims, they like to add things. Like, whenever your Sims die, they don't just die. The Grim Reaper comes, there's a big drama, everybody in the house comes around, they all start crying, or they go over, you can beg the Grim Reaper, please don't take them, please don't take them. And if it works, they'll resurrect them again, and if it doesn't, then they'll just, have this dramatic death. And then afterwards, they come back to the house as a ghost because, they can, I guess. So this
they did.
Like your Sim, if you really wanted to, you could communicate with the dead and you could, go to their grave and mourn them. It's really realistic. And the mourning lasts like 3 days. So you really have to take care of your Sim during this time.
Yes, if a family member dies and everybody, and then if they see it, they can have up to 3 buffs. Sometimes one had 4 one time on me.
Yeah,
my 2 original ones, and they were together like all the time. Yep. And then he died first.
Yeah, we have buffs that come on to the Sim. They're special moodlets. So whenever they're embarrassed, they'll get an embarrassed buff. Or if they're confident, they'll get a confident buff. And if somebody dies in front of them, they will have an actual buff from seeing a loved one die. Or it is crazy, Whip Girl. It's seriously crazy.
It is.
It's like
when my
close to
Sim died. I'm like, what do you mean she died?
Yeah.
I'm like, why, what do you mean she died? Why did she die? Yeah. And it was not, it was one that, I was trying to make her immortal because it was like one of the first Sims I had ever made. And then she aged because I was, doing other things and, so I married her to a vampire, and I was trying to get her to turn her into a vampire so she would live. And I guess I did kill her, but because they had woohoo, and then he was hungry, so he sucked her blood, and then she died on me. And I remember telling you on the phone on Messenger. I'm like, my sim died. What the heck? What do you mean she died? How did? And you're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's dead.
That's why I don't fast forward my game. You have the option that you can go regular time, which is kind of boring, or you can fast forward it a little bit, or you can fast forward it real fast for like when they're sleeping, because they have to have 8 hours of sleep. So you got to sit there for the 8 hours while they're sleeping, and it's kind of boring, so you can fast forward it. But if you fast forward it and they die or something, then you don't have a chance to catch it. You can't go and beg the Grim Reaper for their life or anything. You're just like looking for them and they're gone.
Yeah, well, and I didn't know that you could do any of that when my first one died either. And what I would do if you get it and you've never played it before, like I hadn't, go to Simgirl's blog, and she has how to posts on how to get started playing. You should actually do like a new post with and link all your old posts.
Mm-hmm. Just tell them the background of it.
Well, yeah, and then give all the links, because I think you were up to like 30 links at one time, and each one is very I mean, that's how I learned to play, was from your blog.
And when I started on Steemit, I wasn't sure if I would have enough to write about, and the more I played, it was like the more detailed I got, and I realized there's a lot of controls to this game. The control panel. They don't tell you that. Yeah.
You don't know.
You kind of like mouse over it, but they don't really explain it as to what you can do. Like, I just found out that I could go between sims by hitting the space bar. I didn't know that.
Well, you can right click on that little square too.
We definitely need Steam meetups in the Sims.
I know, I can hear all you guys' horror killing stories.
Yeah, we need a sim Steemit thing where you can just post the ways that you starved your sim, or
I don't want to read that.
Trying to drown them in the pool, poor thing.
You can do that. You can read that one.
They would be exhausted. Okay, well, before